Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of Classes of Cinematics, and I'm joined as always with my co-host, Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo!
Yeah, folks, so today we got a film coming from Honk Kong, man, and this is coming out of the era where Hong Kong action films were getting a big spotlight. So we're going to be talking about John Woo's Hard Boiled from 1992. This film is billed as an action thriller. And in this film, a cop who loses his partner in a shootout with gun smugglers goes on a mission to catch them. In order to get closer to the leaders of the ring, he joins forces with the undercover cop who's working as a gangster hitman. They use all means of excessive force to find them.
Man, I like that synopsis. That's what I'm talking about.
A lot of excessive force. So our main people in this film are going to be Chow Yun-fat. We also got a young Leung in this, Anthony Wong, Teresa Mo, and Kwan Hoi San. These are our main characters I think are worth highlighting, as well as Stephen Toon, man. I like his foxy guy, man.
I like Philip Wok, too.
Yeah, Mad Dog. Mm-hmm. But, man, let's get into this, man. This film also is probably the last film, not the very last because he would come back later, but the last film John Woo directed before making a transition to doing directing American films, you know, such as like Broken Arrow. He started doing Broken Arrow, Face Off, things like that started, getting done. But yeah, man, what do we think about this thing, man?
This one, dude, it's unfiltered adrenaline from beginning to end. I love it. And when it comes to action films, John Woo don't miss. He swings, he hits them out the park every time. And what I really like about this is, at this time, we were getting a lot of gangster films from John Woo. He was even almost criticized at a point for glamorizing gangster life. And so he kind of stepped away from his wheelhouse in making this police film, and in doing so was able to reset the bar for how police action films were made after this. You know what I mean? And I think that also when it comes to having Chow Yun-fat as the lead role, John Woo and Chow Yun-fat, they just work together so well. It's like they know what to expect from each other, you know what I'm saying? And what we see on screen always excels.
Yeah, they're a great recipe, man. This story there's some cliches involved. I mean, it does involve an undercover officer, but I think they did enough with it to make it interesting, when combined with Woo's action skills, man. But I like our story here because we've got an undercover cop that's embedded, and he's in so deep that only his commander knows about this, man. So I thought that was interesting. So our main guy, Tequila, played by Chow Yun-fat, is butting heads with the police chief, which is a great trope for these kind of movies. You can't have a chief and our main character get along nicely.
No.
But Chow doesn't know that he's got these operatives out here. And this is crazy, man. I love this film that they go 100% hard because I feel like in a lot of films, even, they're more based in reality. So it's like, you can't do crimes if you're an undercover officer. You can't be out here killing people. But this movie's opposite, bro.
Totally opposite. Because when we look at the guy who is the undercover officer, not only is he doing all these things, but he seems to enjoy it. He looks like he's so cool with it. Like he even makes little origami cranes for each body that he catches, and he's got a little hut full of them, or whatever, a boathouse full of them. So and it's cool because you get that instant compare and contrast to, Tequila's policing style and Alan's policing style. And then we get that pushed through the whole story.
It's crazy because Tequila's also considered kind of a rogue cop. He does too much.
He is a rogue cop, yes.
But to the fact that we've got this undercover, because even Tequila on his extreme end can't do enough to fight the kind of bad guys that they're going against, and they bring it up. But there's some funny stuff going on, man. I like the fact that his ex-girlfriend, she's the one that gets the messages from the undercover agent out in the field. She translates the code.
He's trying to take his shot at her. He don't know that she's in another relationship. He don't know Tequila at this point. Tequila just knows that she's getting a boatload of flowers sent to her, and all of his cop buddies are making fun of him, like, yo, somebody keeps sending your girl all these flowers,
But these are the messages coming in from the undercover operative to the chief. She translates them, and I like the way this code works out. But it's funny. Like it's usually a song lyric, and it's on the musical scale. So they break it down by the numbers fa sol la ti do. But it's funny to me because one of them is like, are you somewhere feeling lonely? And in my head, I'm like, is this Lionel Richie's Hello?
Right,
like, are they?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Is this vital to the case? But I don't know, man. I couldn't confirm that, but there's several scenes like that. So it's kind of cool, man. Ultimately, the whole reason this thing is going down is because we're trying to stop this arms dealer. You know, and he's worse than the local gangsters. Shout out to Uncle Hoy here, man. There's a whole Uncle Hoy. Yeah,
Uncle Hoy.
He's the local bad guy in charge, and the cops, they butt heads, but they kind of have a, you know, like, it's like in other movies where you see the mob and the police have a relationship. It's kind of we know what you're doing. We can't get you outright, but just keep it clean. And he represents that force because the new guys are ruthless. They have no, you know.
It's like Uncle Hoy, they got him on a short leash. It's like, all right, you know, we'll let you eat because you're not greedy. But then you got Johnny Wong over here. He's like, man, you know, we about to overthrow everything, and we not working with no cops.
Everybody got to die.
You know what I'm saying? Everyone's got to die, even Uncle Hoy.
Uncle Hoy, he's I love him. Like, the few scenes we get with him, even when he's hanging out with his boys, he's like, I know this guy's a gangster, but he's kind of nice. He's like, go get you something to eat.
Yeah, he's like, you can't think right on it.
Hungry guys don't work good.
Yeah, it's like damn. You know, had me questioning where I'm like, man, maybe I should go work for Uncle Hoy. He's nice. You know what I'm saying?
I guess he represents that respectable criminal element where you know, like we do what we do, but we try not to do any unnecessary killing. We don't want to do more violence and destruction than we have to conduct our business.
And I also like that even though this is, you know, a police film, we're following these police officers, we do still get the gangster element. And with every gangster movie, there is an ultimate double cross, and we get that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Uncle Hoy. Oh man, Uncle Hoy is heartbroken when he finds out his main man Alan set him up. Then ultimately has to kill him. Yeah. You know, they raid the gun shop now. You know, nobody's there to stop Johnny Wong from just running reckless through the city. You know what I'm saying?
And then after that,
everybody.
And after that, it becomes a chase to bring Johnny Wong down from all angles, man. But the thing that stands out to this, besides the action, is the cast members, man. The characters. Shout out to Tequila, played by Chow Yun-fat, who we experience most of the story through, and he's our typical hard-edged cop. Like I said, he does too much.
He hits all the check marks, you know what I'm saying? Everyone who gets close to him dies. He sucks at his relationship. The lieutenant don't like him, and he puts the law in his own hands. I mean, this is the same what we get from Mel Gibson, Lethal Weapon. This is, you know, it's the same kind of element. You can tell that this film inspired a lot of these other films with this dynamic, or inspired by. You know what I'm saying? But
because a lot of this cop stuff isn't new that's in this movie. No. It's just remix of things we've been seeing since maybe the late 70s even, you know, with super cop
somebody
kind of stories.
that's so good in their position, but they ultimately buck the system because they push themselves to be better.
Little Derry Harry, little Action Jackson.
You know what I'm saying?
Lethal Weapon, like you said.
A little bit of all that. But what I also like about his character is in the slow moments when he's not out there killing people or you know, mourning someone's death, you know, we actually see that he is well in tune with his emotional compass, and he carries a heavy burden, and it's starting to weigh heavy on him. He does not like the things that are happening around him, and he's trying to find ways to fix it. In his mind, he seems to think that the only way to fix it is to eradicate, you know, now the triad who is just running rampant and selling all these guns. But, you know, even with him in his police style, I also like what we get from Tony Leung as Tony Leung Chin Wei as Alan, because he's the polar opposite, you know, from what we get from Tequila, because he's just, I mean, he's mashed potato smooth, a double-edged sword that is able to play both sides of the fence as, you know, a high-ranking, you know, member of the triad, but then also this undercover agent, you know what I mean?
It's weird how it's set up in this movie, because I feel like Tony Leung's character is not he doesn't come across like a typical cop, even though you know that he came up through that, but it's almost like they treat him as a mercenary in a way. It's like you're hired for this role, and the thought is, when you're done with this case, you're not going to go on to do another case.
You ain't getting no medal.
You're gone. Like we're going to give you a nice severance package, and you're supposed to just go and disappear into the wind. You know, which leads us to when we see the chief burning the folder after Tequila kills that one undercover officer. And basically these guys aren't supposed to exist. They're in the system a little bit, but once their service is done, they burn the file, and it's almost like cleaning their hands of, yo, we never dealt with this guy. We don't know who he is. We it's really weird,
But also with Alan, he really seems to be a lot better at being a gangster. Like when he does not stray away from the gangster.
He's good at it. He's good at it.
He'll catch a body in a heartbeat, you know what I'm saying? Stare you in your eyes while he does it. And it seems like he gives the impression that he does not have a conscience.
I think you really have to, though. Yeah.
He really does. Because like I was saying earlier, when him and Tequila actually first meet, not their initial first meeting, but when they have the conversation in the boathouse, he's like, "Why you got all these, what were they? Swans, the cranes, the little cranes. There you go,
paper
the origami cranes." He said he makes one for each person that he kills, and that shows that he's mourning their death in the best way that he can without
it's kind of a show of respect in a way. It's kind of like taking a deer's antlers after you shoot them, or something,
or dropping a flower on a tombstone or something.
But it definitely does bother him. I think in the moment he's great at portraying that, because you got to be ice cold. You can't hesitate. And but later on you see him, when he's on the boat, he's like, he lets the crowd like it's messing with him. And there even the Uncle Ho scene, bro, like he was cold, but the way that camera, it's like the camera wanted us to know that this was a big conflict, man. Because when he mows down Uncle Hoey and his gang, and it's just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And a part of it was like, you could have did this, in a different way too, but the way you did it was your way of showing to these gangsters that you were about it,
about the life.
But then you could tell that also, it took a little bit from him, it ate he can't show it in that moment, but the way the camera pauses, it's like we're supposed to pick that up. Like that's where Wu comes in, man. The way he's directing this thing.
As a viewer, you could easily see how, taking out the person who took you in and mowing down about 20 people could just mess with you internally.
Because think about it, Hoy was his way into the whole undercover thing anyway. Exactly. He infiltrated Hoy's gang. Exactly. And then betrayed Hoy to get good with the main guy that the cops were after.
The bigger shark in the water, you know what I'm saying? And that's where you see that, even though he's better at gangstering, he's still, in his mind, a cop first. And, it really comes to the forefront when, we get into the third phase of the film, because now, he's exposed and he's all the way about his police stuff. And even Tequila has to remind him, he's like, bro, you trying to be out here, be like super cop and everything. You ain't getting no pension, my guy.
Yeah.
You ain't getting
I'm
good. You not good.
That's the crazy part. Like I said, that's the crazy part. I've never seen nothing like this where like this guy's effectively a mercenary. He might have came up through the academy, but maybe they pulled him to the side like, hey, you show promise, like they do in the military movies.
They did him like Fishburne and Deep Cover, dog.
Like that's crazy to me, man. Shout out to Anthony Wong, who's our big bad here. He's serviceable, man. I like his character. He gives us just enough to root against, and play that role. He's nasty. He's mean, snide. You really don't like. Anytime he's on the screen, I'm kind of just not liking him. Like, man, get somebody. They got to get you off of here.
Yeah, he is a big bad. Yes, he does. He's the guy that you love to hate. You know what I mean? And he does it with a straight face. Like he really pushes that negative energy, and you can see why he is the leader of this group. Because not only will he take out innocent civilians, whoever else, but he'll take out the person right next to him if he feels you're going to cross him or already have. Yeah. You know what I mean? And also shout out Philip Walk as Mad Dog, because he is the one who is he is relentless. Every time he is on the screen, he is Wong's, he is his hired gun, pretty much, the guy that he sends for you. This dude is on the front lines of almost every battle sequence once we are introduced to Wong, and he's got a hairpin trigger, man. He does not stop. When he sets his sight on you,
he's good too. You know what I like about him too, though? He's a killer with a conscience.
He is.
Because it's messed up how he ultimately gets taken out because he has a conscience, later in the hospital. But everywhere else, he's about it. I love the fact that he's this crazy, like he's got skills, man. Like so much skills that him by himself is got Tequila and Allen's back against the wall. Like
exactly.
they can't touch him.
Bro, my man, he's shooting shotgun with one hand, he's throwing grenades at you and shit. It's like
he's a crazy guy, man. You realize that this guy is the core of Johnny Wong's gang. Like
he probably helped the gang come up. He was like, man, it probably started off with him and Wang, and they built the empire. You know, and speaking of John Woo, I love his direction style, the way he just pushes the limits, pushes the boundaries. You know what I'm saying? And really can just like, you know, push his vision on screen. It's amazing, you know, because when you think about it, like without John Woo, John Wick doesn't exist. Any of these other films in this likeness where Matrix, you have the Matrix, a superhuman in a hyper reality that is just doing these unimaginable things, not just with what we see on the action side, but just, you know, just the imagination that goes into it across the board. And he is the one who like really took action films to the next level. You know what I'm saying? That other directors now aspire to or get inspiration from to make their films in this likeness in some kind of a way, whether it's, you know, whether it's the gunplay. I mean, the way my guy uses guns, you know what I'm saying? And the amount of guns and the gunplay and the way that it's handled and shot and directed is just, that will stick with you. Like, you look at the tea house scene that set the tone for this film the same way that the bar scene set the tone for Desperado. You know what I'm saying? So you know that you're gonna get these heavy.
Desperado
action.
is definitely a John Woo student. You know,
and
Rodriguez who made that.
Yeah, and I like that. You know, with his films, you know that the action is going to be there, and it is going to be the driving force. But it's all the other little things that make his films great as well. Like you said, you get these characters with an emotional compass, and you get these little sub stories that also just make the movie that much more interesting, and the characters that much more impactful.
And this film is kind of like there's chapters, man, dividers, man.
Yeah.
When it comes to these action scenes, there's like maybe three in a possible really big action sequences.
Yes.
The tea house, the warehouse shootout, the hospital, and I'll even include the boat. Because
I was about to say
the boat, but the boat is short-lived, but it is really high energy, man.
The boat is
crazy.
The boat is the appetizer to the hospital, which is the main course.
Yeah, but the tea house is crazy. The way it starts us off, it lets us know we're in for a really hard-boiled, hardcore thing, man. And this scene is dope because, you know, we get Tequila's in there, we get introduced to him and other players. I just love the way it subtly builds up, and you know, because these guys are coming in, they got the guns hidden in these bird cages, so looking like they're just going to sell these birds, but Tequila knows his guns in there, so when he pops the trap, it's on, bro. Everyone starts reaching for his guns. And interestingly enough, they got this location. It was set to be condemned or renovated, so they got carte blanche to do whatever they want to this, and they blow this place to pieces.
Yes, they do.
And shooting this action scene, man. It's not just guys shooting at each other. I don't know who invented this. Maybe it was Wu, but the fact that our shooters are active, they're moving, they're tumbling, they're not just peeking out, they're jumping through the environment.
It's almost like they're dancing.
Yeah.
Just like they're dancing with each other.
It feels like a real fight with the, like it's almost like a sword fight, but instead of swords, they're using guns, man.
The cool thing about these gun scenes is a lot of them are also heavily improvised by the actors as well. You know, John Woo is definitely, he's pushing his hand to get the best out of the actors, but they're improvising. Like Chow Yun-fat, he was the one who came up with when he's sliding down the rail and shooting.
Yeah, you know, amazing, he was the one who, that's amazing.
He came up with the idea to like put the flour all over him, and then the headshot.
That scene is crazy,
that's
bro.
Wild. I mean, because you just see that deep red blood all on his face.
That scene is a perfect example because he's got his pistols, you know, and the other guy's got his Uzi, and he pretty much runs this guy down in this tiny ass room, rolls over the table, ends up right on top of him with his gun in his face, and it's just beautiful to see this stuff in action, man. The slow motion, and I love too what's. All the debris are flying. It just seems like crazy, energetic.
Dude,
scenery, man.
It's so intense because he had a Razor Ramon moment. Rest in peace, Razor Ramon. He spits the toothpick out and Chico, bow. You know,
man.
that's just dope.
It's crazy,
I love the warehouse.
Yeah, warehouse is crazy.
That's when we get a lot of what you expect from John Woo's action scenes. You know, you get the heavy gunplay, you get a lot of explosions, but then you get the motorcycles. He's always got motorcycles or dirt bikes. There's nothing cooler than people riding around on an overpowered dirt bike, shooting Uzis and everything. And another thing that I like about his style of gunplay is there's also this martial arts incorporated with it. You know, when people get close up and stuff, you know, doing some stuff that, you know, you would not see in a Western movie if it wasn't for John Woo.
Mm-hmm. If you're one of these dudes is about details, how many shots did they fire? They didn't reload. Blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, I don't even care about that. Like in that tea house scene alone, the amount of bullets Tequila fires, it means he would have to have something like this on his waist, bro. He'd have to have something like this full with bullets on his waist. And we know that doesn't work. Even if they were in clips, you know, already loaded, there's no way you could be having that. So there's movie magic. You just gotta suspend your disbelief.
There you go. And enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride, bro. Because that is crazy, man. There's shotguns too. I love the shotgun action.
Because it's the pistol grip jumps too. Those.
It's wild, bro. But see, the one that really I think encapsulated it all is the hospital. Hospital is dope. So eventually they realize our bad guys are operating out of the basement of this hospital.
Dude, the hospital's like the Bat Cave underneath, bro. It's like am I still watching Hard Boiled or James Bond?
This is when the movie does kind of get off the rails a little bit. It gets bonkers, but it's still so much fun because
it is.
Like we have a hospital full of people and you know, and the bad guys, they don't care. They're taking hostages. Yes. They're making their last stand. They're trying to clear the place out. And we've got Tequila and Allen in there, Mad Dogs running around, clipping people. That's
with the eye patch at this point, you know what I'm saying?
But one of my favorite parts in this film is I think it's shortly about to get into the basement or maybe after. But there's like probably a good 3 or 4 minute sequence of Tequila and Allen, and it's a one single shot, bro. If you watch this thing, I watched it last night, I was blown away. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Mm-hmm. So they both got on like, no, I think Allen's got on a police officer's uniform at this point. He stole from one of the guards and Tequila's, and they're just side by side running, and it's a single shot, bro. There's no meaning. The camera does not cut away. There's no cuts in this. So you gotta, when you shoot scenes like this, you gotta nail everything so that it looks right. And this is crazy. They actually, boom, they're going, guys are coming out front, behind them. The camera's turning, but it doesn't break. You know what I'm saying? And then they get on the elevator, have a conversation. Camera's still going. Still the same shot. They get out on a different floor and bow. And they just going right. Dude, on the filmmaking tip, man, like a film nerds, man, they're probably losing their brains right now. I lose my mind watching it, yo, just because it's just so amazing. Such a technical feat. Something you have to plan out in order to pull it off, you know, flawlessly. It's one of those things, if you do mess up one part, it's like, damn, we got to run this whole thing back.
All over again.
You know, what if we're in the 5th minute? Then we got to run this whole thing back again. Like, and it's crazy,
and it demands perfection from everyone, from the director to the cinematographer to the actors, actresses, everyone involved. The set needs to be right, everything. And, you know, I love in the hospital scene, you know, I mean, there's so many things I love about it. But once Tequila, you know, because they shut the hospital down and the babies in the maternity ward are left. My man Tequila finds lone baby. He picks baby up, starts singing lullabies to it, and then now he's one fisting and still shooting people, keeping the baby safe. I mean, that's like, you know, you can't write this any better, man. And shout out to the cinematographer, Wang Wing Hen, because he's the one who actually is able to capture the vision and really, you know, keeping the camera revolving around. I mean, it's like, my man must have burned big calories doing this movie, because I mean, the camera's constantly rotating around 360-degree angles. We're getting close-up shots of the characters. We're seeing the emotional compass, the expressions, the facial expressions.
I like that. I like the fact that he keeps his camera kind of lowered a lot of times.
Yes.
It's almost like it's low, but it's looking up at the action.
Yes.
You know, it's almost like the camera's like right at knee height.
Yes.
You know,
and,
filming most of this action.
Another thing that I really, really like is when during all these shootouts, when we get those slow motion moments to really enhance what we're seeing. You know what I'm saying? It's like the only thing you ain't seeing is the actual bullet coming out of the gun, but like you see the bodies flying slowly and people, you know, they're not, this is well before the Matrix. They're not dodging the bullets.
You know
they
what
get
it is
tagged.
though too, man? Like I criticize what's the name for doing this too much. Like it seems like a cheap gimmick for him when he does it. Zack Snyder, when he does the slow motion. Yeah. But this slow motion is for impact.
Yes.
They use a lot of it, but it's using it at key moments and it's not making this the whole thing. Like we're still seeing a lot of it being done in real time, but when they slow the focus, it's almost like the emphasis on the carnage. It's like it's not hiding behind the effect. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I feel like Zach was doing that with a lot of his recent work, man.
And the way that he also captures the whole entire set pieces, you know what I'm saying? Like during, you know, the high impact moments, the low impact moments, it's really like, cause there are some really beautiful shots in there too.
Dude, it's like
really,
there's a lot of stuff in
shots,
here.
man.
If you could make a poster, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you know, minus all the gunfire and gang shit going on, this would be a nice place to vacation. You know, but I'll take all.
Yeah, you're right. Like especially in the tea house, there's a few shots where the cops are riding to the tea house and you just see the little siren. I'm like, damn, this looks like a cool area of the city. Like it looks like a little cool little food stand over there. Like I want to go
where the boathouse is.
I want to go into
the. This is, you know,
let me see if they got some fake Jordans in there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like
exactly. And you know, cannot stop talking about this film before we talk about the music. I love the jazz infusion that this film has. It really, really, really puts extra emphasis on the emotional parts of this film, because they're not playing jazz during the shootouts. They're playing it when, you know, Tequila is tapping into his conscience, or how this workload is weighing so heavy on him, or how Alan's trying to deal with the double-edged sword that he's riding, or, you know, Alan's girlfriend's displeasures with the relationship and, you know, job problems. And to have this smooth, jazzy element is just, it really works for this film. And John Woo actually said that he wanted to have a jazz infusion in The Killer, but it was persuaded not to.
I wish they did, because The Killer, there are a few musical beats in The Killer that are a little odd, you know, at times. Like you're like, that don't really fit.
It don't fit
tone, you know.
And when I read that, I was like, bro, I could totally see it, because The Killer has that same kind of energy where, you know, even though the killer is this hired assassin, is doing all of this killing, he is still very in tune with his emotional compass. So, you know, we get that. And, you know, the music in this is just, it's so cool. And I thought that it was awesome to show, you know, the character of Tequila. Like, he also has a fondness for jazz by him playing the clarinet, drinking his
I like the main theme, drink. Like the action that like when that comes on, like when the main scenes of this, I don't think they play that during the boathouse. Nah. But the other three major set pieces, that theme comes in, and it's just like, yo, it's time to go.
And then we step away from the jazz for a second. The first time we see Alan driving in his cool ass red like drop top on his way to the library to catch a body, and he's listening to some, I guess it would be like the early '90s version of some techno or something. Yeah. But it was groovy.
Yeah, this is a cool film, man. I like it because, you know, what we're getting from the action stuff. If I'm going to put it though in the filmography, I think it probably comes after A Better Tomorrow and in The Killer. You know, though I feel like A Better Tomorrow is a film that's mostly about you know, brotherhood, you know, even though it is one of these crime films, and we get interested, like Chow Yun-Fat's not even the main character in that. I forgot the main guy in there, which is why that film I think did commercially still better than you know, this one. And I think this one might have beat The Killer's box office, but it didn't beat A Better Tomorrow's box office. But A Better Tomorrow has some really wonky sequels. They're entertaining, but they stray far away from what the core of that film was. You know, in that film, we kind of got a gangster family that's kind of dealing with some shit, and it hits a fan, and they're struggling to survive, and the world is changing around them. The Killer is kind of like
I was gonna say I'm the killer, A Better Tomorrow, and then this, and I like the killer because ultimately, outside of all what we get from the gangster element and the assassin element, when you dive deeper into the sub context, it's really about like loving the loveless. You know what I'm saying? When you got the woman who's blinded, but she is now infatuated with the man who saved her life.
I think the killers is definitely more focused on like an individual, you know what I'm saying? And his struggles with what he's doing and what he's become and trying to reconcile that and still be good, within, the framework of his job. So I like that too, man. I think the themes, but this one is dope, but it's not as deep as a film as those other two. This excels in other ways. I think this was kind of meant to give us that his bowing out. He's like, this is my last action epic for the Hong Kong. And he did a, great job in that regard.
And it switches the dynamic too from, to the cop stories. With the cop stories, they come with a completely different energy. You can kind of dive deeper into certain elements with the gangster style.
Yeah, this still feels like it still feels more Dirty Harry than Departed. It's a cop story, but it's not too serious. You know what I'm saying? We just need a way for us to get this action off. But yeah, man, I think he still had a lot of energy left in him at this wave, especially what came next, man. Face Off might be one of his best, bro. Face Off, and I gotta rewatch Broken Arrow. Broken Arrow is a crazy film too.
That's
solid. Wild.
That's one where they steal that little plane, right?
Yeah. The action in that is nuts, man. And it's not just gun action. I think this was, kind of limited with the scope of his action. Even though that warehouse scene kind of expands a little bit, but I think something like Broken Arrow was like, we're giving you the total, like I'm going all in. Like we got guns, we got crazy ass, what's his name? John Travolta, you know what I'm saying? Slater. We're gonna go nuts in here, man. And he's having fun with it. Yeah. And I think, what else did he do?
Did he do The Corruptor?
No, he didn't. But that's a good ass movie,
that's a
dude.
Good movie.
That might be.
I was about to dive in on that one.
We gotta do that one.
I think
I'm gonna put that on the list real soon. Yeah. Corruptor was really good.
Really
man.
good. Yes.
Yeah, that's like one of the few Wahlberg joints I can tolerate. Yeah, but he has a really great filmography. There's some cool stuff in the beginning. And especially in the middle, the end gets a little shady. You got to pick and choose. But and I really didn't like this Last Killer remake. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Some people enjoyed it, but I felt like at this point, I don't know if you got anything left in the tank, John. But he did do the Mission Impossible 2, which I kind of enjoyed.
Okay.
It's not perfect, but he has some cool stuff in there, especially motorcycle stunts.
Yeah.
Really good, man.
Yeah. Tom was getting it on that motorcycle. Burning the heel off them cowboy boots.
Yeah, but let's get out of here ultimately, man. Unfortunately, it's hard to track this film down, man. I will say, if you guys want to see this, after we've talked about it, there is a Cantonese version on YouTube right now, really good quality, better quality than I'm looking at right now. But the problem is that this film, it is available on Blu-ray and DVD, but you're going to pay an arm and a leg because it's out of print. None of the streamers have it. But we announced in our live show that Shout Factory has made a deal with I forgot the company. I think it's Golden Princess.
Golden Princess, yeah.
Yeah, so they've got the rights to put out a new batch of this film. So if you want to wait, you can watch it on YouTube, like I said, but if you want to buy it, I would just wait until they put out their edition, because I'm pretty sure they're probably going to do a 4K rescan.
Absolutely.
They're going to give you all the extras and bonuses, and it'll be worth buying that for probably $30 to $40 than jumping out there now and buying this $100 Blu-ray that's out there.
Well, and on Shout Factory, it's going to come with all the bells and whistles.
Yeah,
I have this copy as well. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely going to get the Shout Factory one on top of that.
Yeah, because right now, this is going for like an arm and a leg online, bro. It's crazy. It's not even listed on Amazon. But like I said, man, check it out on YouTube if you want. Just type Hard Boiled and you'll find a really, really good copy. That thing's crystal clear. But we're going to be back, soon with another film, man. Make sure you check out Hard Boiled. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on notifications. Make sure you tell a friend about us. And we're going to be back soon. And you can catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram. And we're also on TikTok. Just type in Classics of Cinematics if you want to find us there.
And as always, it's Bobby Blockbuster. You can catch me on the next show.
All right, we out of here, folks. Peace.